The government levies taxes on many goods and services to raise the revenue to pay for national defense and public goods and public schools. The government can make buyers or sellers paying the tax. The tax can be a percentage of the goods you buy or a specific amount for each unit sold. For simplicity, we are going to analyze per unit taxes only. Here in this chapter we have the pizza market example, and let's assume that there is no tax, and the pizza in this example, pizza price is going to be $10 and the size of the market will be 500 pizzas. Now we will assume first there is a tax levied on buyers of a good, and suppose again our local government passes a law requiring buyers of pizza to send $1.5 to the government for each pizza they buy. Now we want to analyze the effects of this law. We will apply three-step analysis. The initial impact of the tax is going to be the demand side of this market. The supply curve is not going to be affected because for any given price of pizza, sellers have to have the incentive, same incentive to provide pizza to the market. On the other hand, buyers now have to pay a tax to the government whenever they buy pizza. For this reason, the tax shifts the demand curve for pizza. So the next is which direction the demand curve is going to shift. Because the tax on buyers makes buying pizza less attractive, buyers demand a smaller quantity of pizza at every price. As a result, the demand curve, as you see in this figure, shifts to the left. Okay? So what happens? Now the new price will be different. In this market, the price of pizza will be $9.5 because now it's less attractive for buyers to buy the pizza. And if we want the same amount of pizza to sell in this market, then this price should reflect the cost of tax, which means the sellers are going to continue to buy the pizza at the same, the buyers are going to continue to buy pizza at the same amount if the price is going to be $8.5. Since the price is not going to be $8.5, first the demand curve will shift to the left. Now the new price in the market is $9.5. So now you can see that in this figure, the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity changed. Equilibrium quantity is not anymore 500, it's 450. So the pizza market shrinks, okay? The size is now smaller. And once again, here you realize that we don't have any more $10 price, and so interesting result is that the tax burden is in fact shared between buyers and sellers. So although it seems like buyers are taxed for $1.5, in reality, since the demand is less than before, this reflects to the equilibrium price, and the equilibrium price of the pizza is now lower. It is 9.5 compared to 10, so that means some burden of the tax goes to the seller. Seller is now receiving less price, less amount for each pizza they sell. And how much the burden is going to be shared in this example? Here, buyers pay $1 more and sellers get $0.5 less. So what's going to happen in this market? The pizzas are going to be sold $9.5. Now sellers are getting $9.5 per pizza rather than $10. So 50 cents goes from their pocket. And buyers are going to buy the pizza $9.5, but in fact they are going to pay government $11 because they are going to pay $1.5 more for the tax, so their effective price will be $11. Here in this slide we are going to talk about the tax effect on sellers. Now in this case, tax levied on sellers of a good, so that means sellers are going to pay $1.5 to the government. And how does this law affect the buyers and sellers of pizza? To answer this question, we need to follow this three-step analysis. The first step is decide whether the law affects the supply curve or demand curve. And second step, we decide which way the curve shifts. And the third step, we examine how the shift affects the equilibrium price and quantity. Let's talk about the first step, the immediate impact of tax on the sellers of pizza. Because the tax is not levied on buyers, the quantity of pizza demanded at any given price is going to be the same. Thus, the demand curve does not change. By contrast, the tax on sellers makes the pizza business less profitable at any given price, so it shifts the supply curve. So since it's less profitable, supply will shift to the left. There will be less pizza supplied at every price. And step 3, having determined how the supply curve shifts, now we can compare the new and initial equilibrium. And in this figure you realize that what happens to the equilibrium price. And let's see here. Now the new equilibrium price will be $11. So that means since suppliers will supply less, is in fact the price of the pizza will increase, but it's not going to increase that as much as they can cover their $1.5 amount of tax. So the equilibrium price will be $11, and since they sell each pizza $11, the effective price the sellers will receive after they pay tax will be $9.5. So what happens here? Again, the tax burden is how? As you realize in this example, again, we got the same conclusion when we look at a tax levied on the buyers. So the effects on price and quantity and the tax incidence are the same, whether the tax is imposed on buyers or sellers. What matters is this: a tax drives a wedge between the price buyers pay and the price sellers receive. So as you realize, sellers are going to receive again $9.5 and buyers are going to pay $11, whether the tax is levied buyers or sellers. Here, let's see one example and complete this video. In this example, you are going to assume that government imposes a tax on buyers of $30 per room, and find new quantity, price the buyers pay, price the sellers pay, and the incidence of tax. So what the question is telling us, there's going to be a tax imposed $30 per room. So the easy way to find out the answer for this type of questions, you don't need to shift any curve, okay? Just find the distance between demand and supply, which is the left side of the equilibrium price. Here is the equilibrium price, right? You see that at the equilibrium, the price is $100 and 100 rooms. And now I need to find the exact distance that matches this $30 amount. Here, as you realize that the length of each square is $10, you see. So if I continue this fashion, this is $10, this is $10, and this is $10. The distance is exactly $30. Okay, that's the first thing I'm gonna do. And that line is gonna show us the tax incidence, tax amount. And at if the intersection point of this tax with the supply curve will tell you what is going to be the price that sellers are gonna receive. And this is going to show us, this is not going to be the sellers receive price. This is the price that buyers are going to pay. And then the effective price that the sellers will receive is going to be $80. Okay. So the buyers are going to pay $110 and sellers will receive $80. And tax incidence, as you see, it's going to be shared. How much of it goes to the buyer and how much of it goes to the seller. Before, sellers was getting $100, now they are getting $80, so sellers pay $20 of the tax. Before, buyers paying $100 for pizza, now not the pizza, hotel room, now they are paying $110, so the $10 goes to buyers. This is an easy way of solving this type of questions.